I'm Chris from Play Comics, a show where we look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material, a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other astonishingly geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Data? Yes. Data, we need your help. The ship is in trouble. Say no more.
Accessing ship systems.
Shuttlecraft Emerson to Titan. Do you read?
He did it. We've got comms back. Shuttle, it's LaForge. We read you.
Ensign, what's going on over there?
Vatic took control of the ship, but we're taking it back and we need you. You're clear to dock.
Copy that. Coming to assist.
Greetings, USS Titan.
This is your friendly positronic pissed-off security system. Back online.
Sign them, go!
Unwanted guests and monologuing protoplasms. I am initiating an immediate shift change.
Everyone, and welcome to Smoking and Drinking in Space. This is a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know sci-fi. And this week we move into the end game as plans are revealed, villains are vanquished, and time is running out, starring General Chang's daughter, memories, and executive officer meetings. It's Season 3, Episodes 7 and 8 of Star Trek Picard. But first, he's the goo person posing as a Vulcan who knows next to nothing about Vulcans. It's Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, God damn it.
I got myself a jelly cream pie.
Oh, I hate you. Man, it's been so nice.
It's been so long.
So nice not having to listen to you chew.
Oh, where have you been all this time?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. I've been missing these bad boys.
Stop fucking your jelly donut and give us some news.
I am tonguing the crap out of this jelly.
Oh, my God.
She likes it too.
I need eye bleach now.
Eye bleach? It's only in your ears.
I imagined it.
You're visualizing, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a visual person.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to set this down for now, and we'll finish the rest of that here in just a minute. All right. I've got science coming out my ass.
That's not what that's called. It's not called science.
All right. Well, oh well. First order of business is we've got a planet that just phoned us.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. A coherent radio signal has been detected from an alien planet. So it is suggesting that it could be more than likely habitable. Basically, the signal suggests that the planet has a magnetic field, which is thought to be a central key component for sustaining life on a particular world because it protects the planet from, high energy particles and plasma and, space viruses.
I don't think space viruses is on that list.
No. Oh, no, that's just the ad that popped up about malware.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. And so up until recently here, researchers have struggled to confirm whether or not planets have had magnetic fields. So it's hard to figure out whether or not the planet would support life. But a new candidate, bear with me here. We're going to call this one YZ SETI B. It's YZ and then CETI. And B.
Okay.
All right. So YZ, good old YZ, it's about 12 light years away, has been sending a repeating signal that has been coming from the star/planet here recently, or I guess recently when it comes to astrology type stuff, right? That could be a couple of years. It doesn't have an actual date as to when they noticed it, but it's like years after they've analyzed something, right?
Right.
Because space is big. Anyway,
it tends to be a little large, yeah.
It is. It's a bit large. The radio waves the researchers detected appear to be generated when the star interacts with the planet's magnetic field. Because the two of them are so close together, it looks like this is an ideal pair to test out the theories on whether or not they can detect magnetic fields. They describe the effect similar to like our aurora borealis, which high energy particles from the sun interact with our atmosphere. So they're actually seeing the aurora on the star for I guess because it's bouncing off of the other planet, which to me sounds like maybe that planet is a little too close and it might be a little too hot. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a astrologer. I just play one. Yeah, I just play one on TV. So they're looking to see they're doing some testing and doing some research, and hopefully this will help them to find other habitable worlds out there, so that we can eventually leave this planet and go fuck up another one.
Yeah, I saw that article. And it is the most clickbaity fucking article ever.
Oh, did you see it on Yahoo Sports? Because that's where I get it from.
No, I didn't see it on Yahoo Sports.
Yeah, it came from the Independent, but apparently Yahoo grabbed it, and that was where I got it from. Yeah. But yeah, there's like absolutely nothing on this thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, it showed up on my feed, and I was like, oh, hey, here's some science stuff. Wait a minute. Why is Yahoo Sports doing this? This is weird. But whatever.
All right, what else you got?
All right. Let's go with this one because this one kind of piqued my interest. Scientists have engineered human cells to have the camouflage ability of squids.
Okay. Like what kind of cells?
I don't know. I didn't read that far. We'll learn together. Are you ready? So squids and octopus have they have what is it called? Active camouflage in their skin.
Yeah, and it's uncanny how well it works.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. However, the skin cells can't be cultured in a lab, which makes it impossible to study them. Apparently, they die off too quickly. So what they have done is the scientists had this crazy idea where they were able to change the transparency of a human cell culture to mimic that of squid skin tissue. Let's see. It's called tunable transparency in cephalopods. It's a combination of pigment-based coloration and how much light is being absorbed because of that pigmentation, and then the structural coloration, which affects how the light is scattered throughout the structure. So that's how octopuses and squid camouflage themselves. I still think it's crazy that they're able to almost perfectly mimic what they're in. So that's cool. Anyway, so Gorodetsky, who is the head researcher, focused on lucifores, which are skin cells that facilitate structural coloration through proteins called reflectins. These reflectins typically clump together, forming nanoparticles that can bounce back light that appears white. By letting light through with little scattering, the surface can appear transparent. So he has figured out a way to keep those nanoparticles from clumping together. Probably threw in a little bit of oil or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Because oil and water don't mix, and we're 85% water.
Sure, and that's how that works. Yeah,
I figured as much. I mean, this doesn't. Oh, no, they didn't use oil. I went down a little bit further. They
wow, reading.
Yeah, they had to introduce reflectin-forming genes from squids into the human cells, but then they figured out how to get the souped-up human cell to stably produce the reflectin. They had to use salt.
salt.
Yeah, they found their salvation in salt. That's what the article says. They found their salvation in salt.
Like
they
table
added
salt or some other salt?
By adding salt to the media of the cell structure, the reflectin in the human cell began to clump together into larger nanoparticles, and the more they added, the bigger the reflectin clumps. This allowed them to tune the transparency by controlling the amount of salt. So maybe table salt, maybe sea salt, because
table salt and sea salt are the same thing. It's sodium chloride.
No, it's sea salt, not iodine salt.
Probably
Iodized,
sea salt, right? Yeah, because
yeah.
Octopus are in the sea, or octopi are in the sea.
No. Apparently, and I thought it was octopi as well. The plural of octopus is octopuses.
Octopuses, okay.
That's what this article shows. Now, futurism.com is awesome. So they know what they're talking about. Anyway, that's all I got on that.
All right, what else you got?
Are you familiar with Chat GPT?
No, I've never heard of that. What is it?
All right, so Chat GPT is OpenAI's chatbot. It's artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard about this newfangled artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So you can type in something to the chat into the chat text box, and this AI will talk back.
No way. That sounds like black magic to me.
Yeah, it'll text back. Well, so I think this guy is trying this scientist or this tinkerer. I think he's trying to make a horror movie.
How so?
He hooked up the Chat GPT to something.
Hooked up Chat GPT to what?
Do you want to guess? What is the stuff of nightmares?
Clowns?
Close. Think of a toy.
Think of a toy. Oh my God, did he hook it up to like a Teddy Ruxpin?
No, not a Teddy Ruxpin, but close.
An Elmo?
He hooked it up to a Furby.
Oh, a Furby.
Yeah. So he hooked up Chat GPT to a Furby. And as he says in a tweet, she, Jessica Card, a programmer, as she said in a tweet, I hooked up ChatGPT to a Furby, and I think this may be the start of something bad for humanity.
So is ChatGPT being used through like the Furby's voice synthesizer? Or I
think so. I think that she's probably like voice, text to speech, hooked up ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, "Hello there. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Furby. What would you like to talk about?" And there is oh goodness. Okay, hold on. I didn't see this because I stopped at about that paragraph because at that point I was like, oh hell no. But I was like, you know what? We got to talk about this. Hold on. Let me send this to you so you can listen to it as well. There is she tweeted it, and apparently you can hear what it sounds.
Okay.
Hello there. It's so nice to meet you. I am Furby. What would you like to talk about?
Was there a secret plot from Furbies to take over the world?
I'm thinking about what you said. Almost done.
Oh God.
Why does Furby have a British accent?
I don't know.
Why do you have a British accent?
Furby's plan to take over the world involves infiltrating households through their cute and cuddly appearance, then using their advanced AI technology to manipulate and control their owners.
That's
they will
creepy
slowly
as fuck.
expand their influence until they have complete domination over humanity.
Oh, that's creepy. Okay, so for those of you that listen to the podcast, The article will be linked in the show notes. Do yourself a favor. Go ahead and click on those show notes for.
Well, I'll pull out an excerpt.
Yeah, this is So, I like that. Yeah, it is Stuff of Nightmares. So much so that apparently the Furbies were banned by the NSA back in the 90s.
No, they weren't.
Yeah. This is truly the end of the days. The little creatures were clearly capable of some pretty horrible stuff. Remember when they were banned by the NSA back in the 90s?
That seems implausible.
Well, who knows? Anyway, there you have it. Horror movie in the making.
All right, what else you got?
That's it. That was 3.
That was 3?
Oh. Yeah, I'm going back to my jelly cream pie.
Oh, my God. All right, you ready for a pod crawl?
Yeah, I've only got like 2 bites left.
All right. I think you'll enjoy this one. Here we go.
Okay. The Titan has found a temporary reprieve from running in a ship graveyard as Picard and company figure out what to do next. Raffi and Worf are off doing some spy shit while Seven is talking with Tuvok to get some help out of their predicament. When Seven subtly humble brags to everyone in the room how she beat T in some game, it seems the coast is clear, and Tuvok agrees to meet them and help them out. However, the meeting place Seven suggests was another test, one that not Tuvok failed miserably, and the Mud People start running a trace on the Titan while Picard tries to get info on his captured work wife. Jack is ready to turn himself in to save Riker because secretly he wishes Riker was his real dad. But Picard says he has a plan. They fake a battle with a Vulcan ship and play possum as the Shrike arrives to pick over the wreckage. They board via shuttle and right into a trap. It looks like all is well as Picard and Beverly question Vadic, but shuttle. Laura comes in to fuck things up because he's Laura, and that's what he does. He drops all the shields holding the Changeling's captive.
I don't know why you're saying it like that.
Storm the bridge using Captain Concussion's head as the key. Vadic locks the ship down, and it turns out the only way to break the super long cryptographic key that is blocking Geordi from taking back control is a positronic brain with multiple personality disorder. Geordi lifts the barrier between the Data and Lore personalities, and Data passive-aggressively dominates Lore with memories of having sex and his cat. The two personalities merge, which basically means Data is a bit more sarcastic and doesn't talk like a research paper all the time, and he jacks into the Titan's computer to unlock the ship. But they form a plan to kick Vadic and her crew off the bridge, literally. Jack heads up to surrender, getting Vadic to release the hostages in the process. Seven tries her best to fuck up the plan, but once the hostages are off the bridge, Jack calls down a force field to surround him and Seven while Data opens up the doors to the bridge. Yes, the bridge has doors and vents. Vadic and her crew into space. Meanwhile, Riker and Deanna are discussing their retirement options when Worf and Raffi break them out of jail and steal the master plan from the Shrike's database. They beat feet off the ship when the alarms sound, and they head over to the Titan in a stealth shuttle to help extricate the remaining goo people from the Titan. The TNG gang is back together in a conference room planning next steps. Jack is putting the moves on LaForge's oldest, and roll Deanna opening up red doors in Jack's conscious credits.
All right, so episodes 7 and 8 of season 3.
We're not glossing over this shit. How? How?
Well, I came to your house late at night while you were sleeping, and
is that why you had me saying all those weird words the other day? You were trying to get samples.
Oh, I've got hours worth of samples.
God, days and days. No, seriously, I'm slightly intrigued here.
Yeah, so I mean, there are AI voice models out there that you can train on just minutes worth of audio samples of a clean voice. And I've got, like I said, hours and hours of clean audio of your voice. And so I passed that through one of these language models or these voice models and created a voice or a model of your voice. And then I can just pass through text, and just like any text-to-speech model, it mimics your voice. And this one's actually kind of cool. The one that I'm using is because it also picks up speech patterns too. So I'm able to actually adjust how steady or non-steady that speech pattern is.
Huh. All right. Well, it looks like I don't need to show up for these things anymore.
And neither one of us really do. I mean,
really? I mean, next week we're just going to type out our podcast and let the AI take over.
Pretty much. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. No. It's not free. This one is definitely not free. So I don't think I'll be utilizing it a lot. But I definitely wanted to experiment with it. I wanted to experiment with it a couple months ago, but just haven't had the chance to dive into it yet.
So you thought, hey, why the hell not?
I had a little bit of time this week, and it actually took a lot less time than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just prepping the actual audio files, and I really only I may have used not more than 15 minutes worth of audio files, and I probably could have done it in less than 5.
So did you just take some of the ones from like the last couple sessions, or did you have to look for specific words?
No. I just took some audio from, just the past few months worth of recording sessions. And I took out a lot of the gap between some of those files, just so that I had, because you have to do it with at least more than 1 minute worth of audio, but anything over 5 minutes worth of audio doesn't really increase the model training on that snippet of audio. So I had to go through and find some audio and then strip out a lot of the spacings, because you don't talk constantly for 5 minutes. So
no, that's true. Yeah. Because, you like to talk sometimes.
Yeah. So
yeah. It's what a podcast does, really. I mean, it's when there's 2 people.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes, unless you have James on, and then it's just.
And so I basically just stripped out the silence. Although there were a couple of tracks that I did leave in some silence just so that it could get your speech pattern. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to say congratulations. You have officially creeped me out.
I wanted to like say something so much. I wanted to say, "Ooh, I got a surprise for you," but then that would have got you like, anticipating something, and I wanted that raw reaction. And that was a brilliant reaction. I love it.
It was very it was very startling. Honestly, what I thought it was, I thought you might have accidentally pulled up like me talking about our future stuff. Well, I guess we could say it because it's going to be on the next episode of Static, or Satis is Hot Hero Summer, right?
Right.
So I thought you had a clip of me, like you accidentally pulled up a clip of me doing the pod crawl stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
You accidentally pulled it, like, oh shit, wrong file, because you've done that before. You've pulled up the wrong pod crawl file.
Yeah, I have.
I was like, well, all right, you screwed up. So, but then it was like, then you're talking about Star Trek. I'm like, wait, what? Oh God.
I had to listen to it a couple times whenever I was experimenting with it, because it didn't sound like you. And then I had to listen to some of the audio files that I uploaded and listen to that again. And I was like, wow, yeah, okay, that does sound like his voice. Because when I was generating it, and it would generate something, and part of it was because I was still tweaking some of the parameters to get your voice patterns correct.
Right.
But yeah, it didn't sound like you at first, and I was like, well, shit, this isn't working.
This isn't as cool
yeah,
as I was
it actually
hoping.
did.
Yeah, I mean, it even picked up. I noticed it picked up where I'll trail off.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, like I said, it's really good at detecting voice patterns too.
Yeah, it's God. All right, that's creepy.
In fact, I had to do this a couple of different times because the first couple, I had to tweak some parameters because it was too conversational. It wasn't like you were reading something. So this was like the third iteration of the generation of this pod crawl, because before it was more like you were talking
to you.
Yeah,
I got you. I was
more
like
conversational.
I was coming up with something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder what SP would sound like.
I don't know. I may see if I can get his permission and try it out.
Yeah. You know, especially if you grab like from his Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that, you know, where he's very direct.
Oh, I've got recordings of SP.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I'm saying from like Agent, because he's a little looser on our show.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know, but he's very focused. Even on Better Podcasting, he's a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
But we give him a chance to loosen up here. That's why he comes on, is he gets to be free.
Now I need to find some video models that I can slap a beard on him.
Oh yeah, do some deep fake SP beard. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would be good. That would help, and then you could give it to Steven to superimpose
during recording sessions.
Yeah, during Better Podcasting.
Yeah.
I mean, the world would thank you.
All right. Well, tangent aside, let's talk about Picard, shall we?
It's already been. We're at 27 minutes. You know, it's like, all right. Well, congratulations. You must not have a lot to talk about because you filled up some space.
No, I wasn't intending to fill up space. I just wanted to kind of freak you out a little bit.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
All right. So, episode 7-8, Star Trek Picard. What were your thoughts?
So I don't remember a whole lot from 7, just because it's been a while. You know, it's been a week. I
had to rewatch it today.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. I don't remember a whole lot. I remember bits and pieces. Well, no, I say that. I do remember quite a bit. I liked Tuvok. I liked the Tuvok nod. I knew something was up from the get-go. Because something was slightly off. At first, I chalked it up to Tim Russ not playing the character in a while.
No, right.
So his mannerisms or his delivery was just ever so slightly different. But then it really did start to crack, and then it was, but before it all happened, I'm like, okay. All right. Yep. This isn't Tuvok.
But do you think that was how he was playing it, or do you think it was because he hasn't played Tuvok? And
no, I would like to think it was because that's how he was playing it. I would like to think he was playing it that way to give a subtle change to show the fact that he's a changeling, right?
Okay.
So, because you kind of notice that, the changelings, it seems like they're close, but they're ever so slightly different. And until you do something that really, it's close enough that you won't notice necessarily unless you're really, really, really looking for it.
Mm-hmm. But you would think they were at this point.
And that's why she was being very closed vested with it. She was being very, very cautious about talking to Tuvok. Because you kind of saw that earlier in the season when it was LaForge and Seven. They were trying to who are you? What do you call me?
Yeah.
And they slipped up that way. So she was, it makes me wonder why she didn't just straight up ask a question from their time in the Delta Quadrant.
Because they had obviously tortured Tuvok at some point and gained.
You think so?
Yeah, he said he had.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was just them, jacking with their emotions, or if.
Well, how else would he have known that Tuvok used to beat her at whatever the fuck game that was?
That
was her first test.
Yeah.
That was her first test, was to see if Tuvok knew that, because you would think that the Vulcan would be, beating her at games, but it turns out that she was actually beating him at games because she's like part computer. So
yeah. I don't know. See, I don't remember in Voyager, I don't remember her beating him very often.
I don't know. I don't watch shows.
And I thought it was Cottiscock that they played or something like that. Anyway, regardless, I mean, I kind of liked it. They brought back, they've been bringing back this whole season has been, one trip down nostalgia lane after another.
Right.
So it was nice to see, some nostalgia from some of the other characters that we have exposure to. Seven, we know about her, so they showed Voyager at the museum. That was cool. And then, she's trying to find a friend, and so she chose Tuvok, which I think I think that was a smart move, and not trying to grab like Janeway.
You think we'll see Captain Hepburn?
Catherine Hepburn?
Captain Hepburn, yeah.
Captain Hepburn, I see. Yeah, because, no, I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is, and I don't know the timeline, but Janeway is in another show right now.
But they name dropped her. She's apparently prepping for all of the festivities for Founders Day.
Right, but I don't know. See, I don't know when Star Trek Prodigy takes place. I'd have to do some research on the fly. But I don't know when Prodigy takes place. Let's see. Star Trek Prodigy.
I mean, what does Prodigy have to do with it?
So she is in Prodigy.
Okay.
And so she is busy. Okay, so no, it's entirely possible, because apparently Prodigy happens in 2383, which is 5 years after the end of Voyager, which is a year after the most recent season of Lower Decks, and very close to the earliest flashback in Picard in 2385. So this all happens after Prodigy. So, okay. That answers that. See, I was thinking that she wouldn't have been in it because she's off doing the Prodigy stuff, which has her away from...
She actually on that ship?
So, sort of. So she starts off as a hologram. She's like a training hologram in Prodigy. The idea is that the ship that they're on had a training crew, and she is similar to an EMH. I'm sorry, ECH, the Emergency Command Hologram. So she's similar to that, which they brought in for, well, kind of like Cristobal, in season 1, right? So she's similar to that. And so she starts off in a hologram. Towards the end of the season, Janeway herself shows up in a different ship because the whole thing is this crew, this ragtag crew on the Prodigy are trying to get to Starfleet because they want to be part of the Federation. And Janeway is trying to find this starship Prodigy because Chakotay was the captain of it, and time travel is involved.
Oh, good God.
So yeah, there's some time travel involved, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so on Chakotay's part, but Janeway shows up, and she's part of the last half of season 1, and then is showing up for season 2. She's part of the group in season 2, the actual Janeway, not just the hologram Janeway. So
that sounds awful.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was nice to see some more nostalgia drops from other, frankly, somebody that's been involved with this series from day one, right? I mean, Jerry Ryan's been on the show since the first season.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see, and she has history, and it's nice to see that she's trying to touch base with people she can trust.
Former crewmates.
Right, because Picard is trying to touch base with people she can trust, or he can trust, right? So it was I liked that. And
they had already dropped a bunch of DS9 nostalgia references too, so I guess it's Voyager's turn. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it was good. I think how they killed off Vadic was a bit
You didn't like that?
Well, no, I mean just it was just kind of like, oh well, that was a nice neat bow.
Well, I mean, yeah, they've only got 2 episodes left. They're going to have to start tying up some storylines here.
Right.
And I figure it worked. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of fitting, and they don't need some kind of long drawn out battle between Vadic. She just got outsmarted by Picard and them.
Right. And I was okay with that. I was kind of thinking up until she took over the ship, right? I was thinking, okay, she's going to be here for the long haul in terms of like the whole season. But then when she did take over the ship, I'm like, all right, they're gonna get rid of her somehow.
That was one of the quabbles that I had, was she took over the ship a little bit too easily. They still had access to everything on the bridge. They could have locked down the bridge pretty quick and kept her from getting there.
No, I think the only reason why she got in as easily as she did is because Lore got in the way. Lore was causing chaos, right? He had already locked them out of he had already taken over the bridge or whatever, right? He already had control of the bridge.
So
the way I looked at that is he was taking over systems, right? And one of them was he locked them out of the bridge, and there wasn't anything that Seven could do. And then they were able to shut Lore down, and when they shut Lore down, they couldn't take the bridge back over quick enough to like lock. By that time they were already coming in, right? So I think because of Lore, if it wasn't for Lore's chaos, they wouldn't have gotten as far as they have gotten. They would have still been in stasis fields and that kind of crap.
So I don't think that the bridge had been locked down. I think they still had control on the bridge. I think Lore had taken over the shield generators so that he could drop the force fields to cause chaos. But I don't think he had gotten bridge systems yet, because it was Vadic that locked out the bridge in episode 8.
Once she got there, yeah. I don't know. Okay. If that isn't the case, if the lore causing chaos wasn't part of it, then yeah, it's kind of weak that they don't have a way to
lock a turbo lift door.
Yeah, shut down, enact security measures of some sort.
Right. And where did all those other goo dudes come from? Because they flooded the bridge like from other sides from other than the turbo. Are there multiple turbo decks?
Yeah, I guess. Or they went through the ducts and stuff, right? They came through like the Jeffries tubes and stuff.
Maybe. It just seems like they stormed the bridge awfully quick. That's one of my quabbles with this episode is that, the bridge got taken over pretty fucking quick and easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Well. I'm okay. I'm okay with new data.
Are you?
I'm okay with it because it's not data.
Yeah, I mean it's data with a little bit of lore sprinkled in.
A little bit of lore, and they have once and for all solved the aging problem.
Which I'm still kind of curious how that works.
I don't know,
because he's still definitely a synthetic life form, right?
Yeah, he's like Picard, right?
But he's not like Picard. Picard is fully biosynthetic. He's got bones, he's got blood, everything about him is biological. It's synthetic biological,
except for the brain. The brain's positronic.
Yeah, that's true. So the brain would still be positronic, but I thought it was like a new biopositronic or whatever.
Well, maybe, and that might be why they didn't, hook him up to try to crack the code.
But Data, if you look on the LCARs behind them, whenever they put him in stasis, it looks like he's still got, a metal skeleton.
Yeah.
And his brain is still definitely positronic. His eye holes are still definitely synthetic because he can project. He projected through on a couple episodes ago. In this episode, you can actually see him accessing a database, which was kind of a cool effect, but I think it's kind of dumb. But, he doesn't need to actually see the database in his eyes as he's accessing it. He can just access it in his brain. That's not how that shit works. But it was a cool little special effect. So I don't think that, but I guess his skin ages because he wants to age.
I'm not sure what Soong was planning there.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they wanted to bring Data back and they didn't want to have to do a whole bunch of CGI to de-age him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it if this is it, and the guy dies after this.
Right. I do like that this is not the same Data as season 1 Data.
And that's why I'm okay with this. It's a backup, which is okay. And it's something different. It's not just a copy of Data. It's Data and some other stuff.
Well, it's Data from like right after the Nemesis.
Right. But it's Data and lore and all that mixed in. So, he's got a little bit of humor. He's got a little bit of, he's closer to human, which is what he had always wanted, which is great. We might get to explore that a little bit.
So he's basically got the kind of emotion and intuition of lore with the
restraint of Data.
Yeah, the restraint and of course, I guess he has the memories of lore too. He's also got the memories of Data. He's got the memories of B4 and Dr. Soong.
Mm-hmm. So he's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
be interesting to see what they do with them in the next couple episodes.
Right. What did you think? What did you think about the takeover? The Data takeover?
That was a bit predictable. I kind of figured that's what he was doing, handing over all of his memories. He was trying to trick lore and somehow.
Yeah, so I saw that. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he's going to trick him.
Yeah,
I was thinking he was tricking him.
I thought that, what was going to happen was Lore was going to absorb all these memories and Data was going to fade away, but then Lore was going to transform into Data because of all the memories that he took from Data, and they were going to merge that way. And that's kind of what happened, but it was more Lore used those memories as trophies, and then that allowed Data to absorb Lore instead of Lore absorbing Data. And so I was thinking that it was going to be like Data was going to allow it in terms of, hey, here, take this, and then one of the quote unquote memories was going to be like a logic bomb or something, and a trap. Oh yeah. Right. That's kind of what I was thinking is because Lore was very cautious at first, and then he was just getting greedy, and I was like, okay, so that's what Data's doing is and he kind of did in a sense, but it wasn't quite what we were thinking. Right. So great. It made sense. It made sense, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was hoping for a little bit more fight from Data, you know, and not so much it was very much like I don't know who I am type of what it felt like. Yeah, this is the first time I think we've really seen Data super confused. I mean, we've seen him in this state kind of a couple times. He's lost or had corrupted memory a few times before in an episode or two. So I think there was a couple of Star Trek episodes where he kind of lost his memory, and then Insurrection, of course, he had gone kind of batshit crazy. Because he got shot. Yeah. Right. And he went into default mode or whatever. Right. Yeah. Perseverance mode or try that again. Perseverance. Yeah. Preservation mode. Yeah. Perseverance. He's got to persevere. I will win. We'll be successful. Yeah. Preservation mode. Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah. So I guess there's precedence for that, and it worked. I mean, I like the new Data. It seems fine. He seems like a more whole, and we've seen the fumble fucking around trying to be human Data. Yeah, and I think that's Logic been played out. Motion chip. Yeah, I think that's been played out. I think they're finally tying up the Data storyline. Data is now a complete person. He's as human as he's ever going to get. He's probably, just like he's a regular human. So he's achieved his dream. I think we're good to go. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I hope they are done with Data, just in terms of like, keep him around. That's fine, whatever. But let's get off of it, please. Yeah. Let's move on. We don't need another season of unless it's going to be the Data LaForge comedy hour, or whatever, unless they're going to actually do a show revolved around him. That's fine, but let's move on. So would you want to see a show, a continuation, or a spin-off series like with the old crew? I would be okay with a Worf series, just because it's kind of interesting, where his character has gone. I am okay with them stopping Picard. I'm okay with Picard. Yeah, Picard's. I think Picard is done. I think Riker needs to be done. Just because we've seen a lot of Riker. And I think seeing some of Worf would be interesting. Not as interesting as what it would have been to see Worf as the captain of the Enterprise. Because I think isn't he captain of the Enterprise? He was, yeah, season 1. So that would have been
that would have been interesting. We can't really do that now. I think,
or at least before season 1, he was captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah. I think Geordi and Data, I think that could be interesting depending on what they did. Not, curating a museum, but if they did something else, I might be okay with that. I'm done with Deanna, and just because she's been on a few episodes, and even with her character, she's not really. I mean, what is she going to do? Take people into a mind trip? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just because that's just kind of how they've been playing her. Is she's still very much a Betazoid,
right?
Motions and that kind of stuff.
Beverly
Crusher, no. It's been nice having her on here. It's been, they've been doing her justice on here, but I can't see her carrying a show.
Yeah, neither can I.
I could see LaForge and Data carrying a show together because they were always buddies in TNG.
Right.
So them getting together and doing something, I can see that. And I can see Worf carrying a show of sorts because of he's Worf, right? I mean, they've got a lot that they can work with there. In terms of capabilities.
Right.
They've got the Klingon side, they've got the warrior side, they've got this new pacifist Klingon, which seems like an oxymoron, but
he's apparently still part of Starfleet because he was wearing a uniform.
He was wearing his uniform at the end. So he's still Starfleet. It looked like he was wearing a gold one. Was it still gold? Because he's part of Starfleet Intelligence now,
right?
So that would be the gold uniform.
But I thought, like in the beginning of the series, I thought he said he had been he'd taken on more of like a consultant role, or
right.
But I
and
guess
maybe that was just because he was working with Ro.
Maybe.
And Ro knew she could trust Worf to dig. And so that's what he was doing, and because of that, he's in civilian clothes to blend in, as much as a Klingon can blend in. But maybe that's what it is. And now that he doesn't need to blend in, it's all out there. He's getting back into his uniform. So that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything more with Rafi. I do want to see something with Seven. And I'd like to see something like Shaw. Shaw's a good one. I'd be okay with a spinoff with Shaw.
I mean, I like Shaw's character. Okay, I don't know that I want a series with Shaw.
Maybe like a one-off series. Maybe like one season or something. I thought I read something about like Star Trek Legacy or something is out there. Or been floating around or something. Anyway, so if they did something, if they did a series that was more along the lines of like maybe like Star Wars Legends or whatever that they're doing, where they had part of the season was Ahsoka, part of it was Dooku. If they did something like that, where it was like these small, 2-3 episode story arcs, I think that would be kind of interesting. Grab some characters that we have been exposed to before,
yeah,
and maybe move them on. Honestly, I would like to see something with Seven, just in terms of her. I'm going to say getting what she's wanted, which is being part of Starfleet. Maybe something with that, like she gets her own ship or something like that. I think that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Hell, her getting her own ship and then working with Borg Girardi in some form or fashion for that space butthole thing that they left hanging out there in middle of nowhere of season 2.
Yeah.
You know, we I told you we weren't going to see anything of it, and we haven't. But it's still out there.
Yeah.
Hasn't been answered.
Yep.
Hadn't been answered. So, yeah.
All right. So, how do you think the crew has aged? I was looking at this earlier, and damn, LaForge looks like he hasn't aged very much.
No, LaForge still looks pretty good. He's a little peppered. He's got a little salt and pepper going on, but he still looks good. Worf still
is fine.
Good.
Yeah. Everybody else looks rode hard and put up wet.
Yeah. Especially the ladies. The ladies look a little worse for wear. Riker still looks like Riker, but fatter. He's gotten older, and he's
I was just looking at everybody's
slim.
age, and it makes sense because LeVar Burton is only 66. I can't believe he's fucking 66, but
right.
Michael Dorn is 70.
Yeah.
Gates McFadden is 74.
Right, and you can hide a lot on Dorn with the prosthetics. Yeah.
So Jonathan Frakes is 70. That's the same age as Dorn.
Yeah.
Marina Sirtis is 68.
Yeah,
so she's a couple of years older than LeVar Burton.
She doesn't look bad, but she's And
then Brent Spiner is 74.
Yeah. So they're all in their 60s, 70s, except for Picard.
Yeah, he's
Picard's 80, isn't he?
80 something, yeah. 82, I want to say.
Yeah. He's getting there.
82.
I think they're done.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we're going to get any spin-off. We may get some cameos every once in a while in some future shows if they take place during the TNG era or even the Picard era. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get a show out of any of these. I think what we're getting is the wrap up to TNG, and a nice little send off for everybody. Yeah. Who do you think is not going to survive?
That's what they're using. I think they're all going to survive.
You think all of them are going to survive? I think Picard's going to die.
I was going to say, I think if anybody is going to die, it's going to be Picard.
I think Picard and maybe Riker.
I don't know. I don't think Riker because they have allowed the two of them to make up.
Yeah, but they also started making plans for the future.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
That's right. Yeah, you're not supposed to make plans for the future in a crisis. Otherwise, you're just basically signing your death certificate. Yeah. So I think Riker may not make it through the series.
Yeah, what I would like, maybe a little bit more with Jack. That would be kind of interesting. I'm hoping we get an answer in this next. It ended with grabbing the door, right? So I'm hoping this next episode we find out. This next episode, we find out what's up with Jack. Why is Jack so special? We figure out what the plan is, and then the last episode is stopping the plan, and ideally rooting everybody out.
Right.
Everywhere,
which they have a way to detect changelings now. So
or this super changeling,
yeah,
because it sounds like there's still the golden changeling, the OG changelings. It sounds like there's still that, but then there's these others that Vadic linked with them, and it was able to change them.
Right. Yeah. So she was changed, and then she was able to change the others that were, in the secret lab with her.
Yeah.
And apparently Daystrom Station's been around for a while because they were experimenting on Vadic at Daystrom Station during the Dominion War, just after.
During DS9, yeah. Well, no, it was during it because they were Vatic was one of the subjects when Section 31 came up with the virus, right? That group that's who they were testing the viruses on.
No.
You don't think so?
They were doing tests on those subjects to try and create something that they could use to infiltrate any kind of alien species. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't viral.
Okay. I was thinking that they were using that was their guinea pigs for that as well.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's been around at least since the Dominion War.
Yeah.
So, well, even before that, because they've got Kirk's body, right?
Well, but I mean, they could have moved Kirk's body.
Yeah.
It could have been in storage someplace else, and then they could have taken it.
Why would you have a highly secretive, highly classified type facility in space? I would think it would need to be, go underground.
Well, I mean, as we were talking about earlier, space is really big, so.
Well, yeah, except that they seem to be bumping into each other quite a bit.
Right. All right. Final thoughts. Predictions.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to find out what's up with Jack. I don't know. I don't know where to start. Vatic knew, but we never said anything. So I'm hoping we find out about that.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the hint that because she said Jack wasn't meant for you to Beverly.
Right.
So they kind of dropped the hint that maybe Beverly's and Picard's consummation was planned or engineered or something.
Something. Yeah. I don't know. I hope we get some answers as to the Jack thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they obviously they're going to wrap up the whole changeling thing. I would assume. Well, I mean, hell, they left the butthole wide open.
That's true.
Season 2. So, I hope that they wrap that up. I hope that we get a nice little bow on this. I mean, there hasn't been any indication of Picard season 4.
No, there's not going to be.
So I'm hoping that I'm hoping we see, like I said, 7 again.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that she's part of Starfleet now. I would like to see, and she has found her footing, so to speak. She's come to terms with some stuff, and I'd like to see her moving forward.
Yeah.
And getting, she doesn't have to get a captaincy, but it seems like she's moving that direction. But I'd like to see her get something. Some closure or something,
Right. Yeah.
I
don't
she
think
can still play it.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a 4th season. I'm pretty sure Patrick Stewart himself said he's not doing a 4th season. So
right. Well, it's because he dies, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's going to sacrifice himself again, like he did in season 1.
But they brought him back in season 1. So
yeah. Well, that's because Picard wasn't done, or Patrick Stewart wasn't done with that sweet, sweet Star Trek money.
That's right. All right, you got a haiku for us this week?
I do. I want to say that this one's going to be pretty good. I've got this one titled as Geriatric Crisis. Gangs back together. Titan overrun by goo. Changeling on the rocks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yep. Yeah, just throw him in that bourbon.
All right. Awards. Who's got your black lung?
I gave it to Vatic because, hell, she was smoking on the Titan, which I would have thought there would have been some sort of like anti-smoking sensor, and it would have put it out.
No, because Cristobal smoked on his ship too.
Yeah, but that's his ship. That's not a Federation ship, right? That was
no. When he became captain of the Federation ship,
did he smoke it or did he just chew on it?
I thought he smoked it.
I thought he was just chewing on it.
Yeah, maybe he was just chewing on it, but
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she had control of the bridge. She could have overridden that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Vadic's going to get mine for smoking on a Starfleet ship as well.
All right.
All right. Who's got your head lush?
Richard Dawson.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody drinking in these 2 episodes.
Not on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess mine will go to Richard Dawson as well.
Yeah, Jack was locked out of the holodeck.
That's right. He was. So no booze for Jack.
No booze for Jack.
So Purple Hippo, who's got that?
Are we skipping player?
Oh, player. Yeah, player. Who's, yeah.
All right. Jeez, dude. Don't you have these things written down?
I don't.
You should. Heck, on my show, I've got it written down and I've got names next to who's supposed to start it off.
That's not true.
I do have it on my show. On my notes, I do. All right, player. I'm giving it to Data.
Data. Okay.
I'm giving it to Data for playing lore. I mean, he played dumb and tricked lore into basically killing himself.
Okay.
So I gave it to Data.
All right.
I mean, you could give it to Jack, but I wanted to go with Data.
Yeah, so I was tossed up between, the Elder LaForge and Jack, because the Elder LaForge, certainly was interested in Jack and was like, throwing mind hints his way, like, why doesn't he touch my hand first? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but she didn't know that he could.
Oh, I know.
So I think she's freaked out by it now a little bit.
Or true,
turned on.
But
could be either
Jack
one. I can't
did go ahead and read her mind, touch her hand. She did seem kind of freaked out by it, and then he took over her mind and helped her kick the shit out of that one dude who won't fucking die. Oh my God, how many times they got to shoot him for that motherfucker to die?
Well, he's got a red face, so it's like anti-red shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're trying to break that whole red shirt trope.
But so yeah, then Jack took over her mind. She was kind of freaked out with Jack and pointed a gun at him. But then she was like, "Nah, I kind of like him now." And
you could say Jack was inside her.
Oh my God. Yeah, so Jack's gonna get my player.
Jack's actually been inside quite a few people.
Oh my God.
He is a player.
Oh shit.
Hell, he got one of them killed when he got inside of him.
Oof. Oh, that took a dark turn.
It did.
He took a beautiful, beautiful award and made it dark.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right, who's got your Purple Hippo?
Well, speaking of inside him, I'm going to give it to Deanna Troy for getting inside Jack's head. She's inside him now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just one big, mind trip, orgy fest. I don't know. Orgy mind fest. Mind orgy fest. I don't. Yeah, everybody's getting inside of everybody else. It's really weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's like telling him to touch the door. You want to.
Oh shit. All right. No, mine's gonna go to the Elder LaForge. I can't remember her fucking name.
LaForge.
Yeah, LaForge.
Ensign LaForge.
Ensign LaForge. Well, I think the other one's Ensign LaForge too. I think the younger daughter's Ensign LaForge.
The pretty one.
the older Elder LaForge daughter is getting my Purple Hippo for basically
Sydney LaForge.
Sydney, yeah. So Sydney's going to get mine for having Jack basically control her and keeping her alive. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Because apparently you know it happens.
Yeah, I guess
or at
so.
least she knew it happened.
Or she had a pretty good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. So next episode, I don't know. What do you want to do next week?
Let's finish off Picard.
All right. I guess we'll finish off Picard.
All right.
So next week we'll be talking about episodes 9 and 10, the last 2 episodes of season 3, the last 2 episodes period of Picard. if everything that I've read and heard is correct. So we'll be finishing off Picard forever next week. Kind of sad.
Are you going to commemorate the occasion with a bottle of Picard?
A little Chateau Picard? Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Because you hadn't popped open a bottle yet.
I was waiting.
All right. Yep. Just a good send off, huh?
Yep.
So you're going to be nice and straight laced at the beginning, and by the end, man,
I'll be sloppy.
Head lush is going to Jason.
Hell yeah! All right. That's all we've got for this episode. Our intro and outro music is Welcome Home by Cambo. Podcrawl music is Snack Mix by Chat. If you like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. Leave us feedback on our Discord channel at smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Discord. Or you can email us at smokinganddrinkinginspace@outlook.com. If you'd like to throw a few knuckles our way, you can become a patron in Knuckles. Yeah, Knuckles. If you'd like to... God damn. Nickels our way, you can become a Patreon supporter. Patreon. Make sure to visit great shows at GonnaGeek.com. This week, I am Jason.
So I had a question that I forgot to ask. If they scooped up all of Vadic's ice cubes and let her thaw out, would she return back to goo and be alive again?
Ooh. We'll talk to you next episode.
All right. What? You're not going to answer that?
I don't know.
Oh, but I wanted to know.